guys. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. The time is 6:03 p.m. and the date is Monday, November 21st. As usual, we can rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So this is a work session tonight, and seeing that there is no public comment, so we'll move forward with board presentations. Our first board presentation tonight is by Christine Brennan. That is the Coopers Beach Life-Saving Training Program for 2023. Good evening, Christine, and welcome. Thank you, Brennan.
So you want me to come here?
That's perfect. Okay. Thank you.
So I'll introduce myself for people who don't know who I am. Christine Brennan, and that's Brendan Regan, and we've been running the Junior Life Saving Program at Coopers Beach for the last 2 years. Some of the people that are here don't know that it's a village trustee program, so I figured I'd introduce myself to some of the trustees that might not know me. It was created by Mark Parrish when he was a village trustee, and then he no longer is, and we had the approval, so we continued with the program. The first year we had 30 kids, and it was experimental. Safety was the most important thing to us. And then it grew. Last year we had 60 kids, and we had to turn some kids down. The parents pay about $100, $125 for 5 weeks. The course pays for itself, so their entry or their fee that they pay pays us and pays for any equipment and things that we need. So we wanted to do a meeting because we keep adding. So the first time we had 30 kids, then we had 60. So as we did it last year, a lot of the parents who come go, I want to do this. I want to do this. I'm like, well, you can do this. They go, I don't think I can do this. I'm like, no, you can. And I'm like, well, at least we can teach you how to get into the water safely. A friend of mine who runs the OR at Southampton Hospital, she asked me, she goes, I've been living here for 35 years, and I don't go in the ocean anymore. I'm nervous going in and going out. Do you think you could show me how to do that? I'm like, sure, I got a lot of other people asking. So Brendan and I thought that we would like to add to our program and implement an adult water safety program and it may be, you know what, this is what the flag is today, and you're not going in the water today. We're going to do a beach jog instead. Or I'm a CPR instructor and a first aid instructor, and maybe I can teach them that on a day that they can't go in the ocean. So really it's water safety for a parent to teach them about the water, the flag meaning, and then if it's conducive to going in, to get them in and out of the water safely. So we'd like to add to our program. So I brought tonight the outline of our program, what exactly we do. And then I brought pictures of some of the kids doing what we do. So people in the audience that might want to see. And Brendan and I are really proud of what we do. We feel like the kids enjoy it, especially after the pandemic. At one point I asked the kids, okay, go run to that lifeguard stand. Somehow during the pandemic, they forgot what run was. I'm like, it's a fast walk. You have to move a little quicker. So I think them being outdoors in the sun, the water, and living here is important. I moved here. I'm from Rockaway Beach, Queens. I've been living here for almost 30 years. But when I first moved here, people would hear my Brooklyn accent, and they'd say, do you know how to swim in the water? And I'd be like, yeah. But then I would watch the local people, and actually, you don't know how to swim, and you don't know how to swim. So to give you a little background on myself, I swim a lot. I was on a men's college swim team. I swim in East Hampton Y on the master swim team for the last 20 years. I swim about 4,000 yards every day for an hour and 15 minutes at the Y. So I assure you I can do the job. Now I'm going to let Brendan take over. And I also have letters from the parents complimenting our program. So for the village trustees who don't know anything about our program, Jesse does because he showed up and watched it. I think the words will describe what's going on. Oh, and one of the other things I can also just tell you is that the kids get a T-shirt. And for me, when I was at the concert on a Wednesday once, I saw one of the 7th, 8th graders with his hair all slicked. You could tell he was there, maybe to meet some girls. And he was wearing a shirt, and I thought it was so funny that he could have picked any shirt out of that drawer, but he picked this to go out and maybe meet some girls. So anyway, I'll let Brendan take over.
Hey, I'm Brendan Regan. I've been an ocean lifeguard out here for about 20 years. I've been a pool lifeguard for close to 25. Currently sort of a handyman, but I still teach classes over at the YMCA. I'm a Red Cross certified lifeguard instructor. I started my lifeguarding out here at about 15 at a beach club, moved over to another beach club, started managing it, started a junior lifeguard program there, and then I've worked alongside East Hampton Town, East Hampton Village, Southampton Town Guards. This village is awesome. Last year was great, the year before was great too. The village has been awesome to us. We worked really well with the lifeguards. We got the proclamation, and everything's just been going so well. And I think adults have the desire to get into the water too. Like Christine said, people have been asking us about it. I think we have the skills to do it, and you know, we just appreciate the opportunity. We love you guys, we love the village, and we hope we can continue to expand and work the way that we've been working together. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Christine, where is that information?
It was on the village website. I also put it, I try to put it out on social media as much as I can. I put it on Nextdoor, you know, the neighborhood sharing app. I put it in SYS, I hung it up in the schools, I hung it up, and then I put it on Facebook and people just shared it. So, I mean, people knew about it, from the village website. And like I said, we had to turn people down. We could not go over 60. We had, 40, 10 to 14-year-olds and 20 8-year-olds, which that's a man-to-man defense there. So, we couldn't really do more than that with the amount of, and we think it's a safe number actually. So we don't want to expand the number of students, even though we turned some away, but some got there and they saw the ocean and they were a little nervous. So it all worked out in the end. But
Where is the program done? At Cooper's?
at Cooper's on Saturdays, it starts at 8 and it ends by 11:15. We try to cut it off then because the beach gets crowded on Saturday for the Cooper's guards, and we don't want to interfere with the safety of people who just go there for the beach. So we try to do it early, get in and out. And then we are proposing that we do the adult class on a weeknight, maybe on a Tuesday, for an hour. Nothing, and it would be when the lifeguards are on staff. I don't know how many adults we'll get in the beginning, but it's just something that we'd like to ease into. We think it's a good time, because the parents, most of the kids are in camp, and there's that like 3 to 5 time that they don't know what to do with themselves. So maybe the parent can, you know, have the nanny watch the kids or something and come to the beach if that's something they could do. Or the nurse that approached me, she works 7 to 3, so that's why we picked the 4 o'clock time on a Tuesday perhaps, if that is okay with
Would that
you.
also be, the adults would also be paying a fee for that?
Yes, so, you know, it would be no more than what they would pay for a spin class if they wanted to go to a spin class. It's not expensive, and that's another thing, because when I moved here, people would ask me, you know, can you get my kids safe in the ocean? And at the time, I was just teaching swimming lessons in the pool and the bay. And I said, well, they should take surf lessons. But surf lessons are expensive, and a lot of people can't afford that. I learned in Queens, my mother paid $5 for the summer for me to swim, and that $5 led me to be a lifeguard for a long time, a lifeguard instructor, and on a men's college swim team. So that $5 went a long way. And I'd like to make it, you know, affordable for the local people, and not have them have to pay some exorbitant money for private lessons or something like that. This is very affordable. Any other questions?
I'd love to see your proposal. Is there,
Sure, this is actually just some of the stuff from last year. The budget that we have, we don't want to change, so we sent a proposal that's been accepted, and we want to keep the current program the way it is. On Saturday mornings, the fees are here. We don't really need any extra equipment. The only thing that kids get is a t-shirt, and then on the last day, they get ice cream at the concession stand on the last day. Equipment needs are very minimal. We already have the torpedoes and everything that we need. All we need is the water. And Brendan and me and the 4 lifeguards that Matt Weeks gives us. And this year we had the dream team. It was the 16 and 17-year-old lifeguards, but they were great. And if you can look at the pictures, you can see them with their hands on the shoulders of the children, like really not just taking direction from Brendan and I, actually involved. The other positive thing is what this did. There's a lifeguard shortage this year. And Brendan and I are both certified lifeguard instructors. So a lot of the kids that were in our program, 11 to 14, they can become pool lifeguards when they're 15. And so all my past students came to me and said, I want to be a lifeguard. So I certified 12 kids. I got them jobs at Bridgehampton, Bath, and tennis. And Tiffany there was, you know, so excited because she couldn't get any lifeguards. And there was times when they were shutting the pools down. My son works at Watermill Beach Club. It doesn't have a pool, but he had to go to the doctor, and they had to shut the ocean down for the day while he went to the doctor because they were so short-staffed. So this program, we teach them in the ocean, but then as soon as they turn, when this is over at 14 years of age, at 15 they take my pool or Brendan's pool class. They become pool lifeguards, and then they can take the ocean lifeguard test to be lifeguards in the ocean at 16. So we're providing employment for them, and then skills to be safe in the water.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Christine.
Thank you, Christine. Brenda, we appreciate your time. We'll keep on moving tonight. Did you want to do the update, or do you want to do it at the next meeting?
We're gonna do that at the next meeting.
Okay, excellent. Now, Natalie, I see you here. You're not on the agenda. Did you want to come up and talk about the project, or we already have it approved, to be approved tonight, so, okay. Just checking, all right. Sorry to put you on the spot. We'll keep on moving. We don't have any public hearings tonight. It's actually, looks like it'll be a brief, more brief meeting. We do have 6 communications to the board. One is a correspondence from Jack Zacharias, 160 Somerset Avenue. Another from Wayne Miller, Diane Pisidio, Charles and Nancy Polis, Julia LaVolpe, and Jack again regarding the Broadlawns. This is in our packet. I just want to make sure that all the trustees and our team here has an opportunity to review. Thank you for submitting the correspondences. We'll now move to discussion items. The first discussion item is the Old Town Bioswale, and we have Steve Phillips, the DPW Superintendent. Thank you, Steve. Acting.
Like Jesse said, my name is Steve Phillips, Jr. Jesse, Old Town Bioswale, I need the approval to remove these phragmites. Right now, our dump cost is 0. They're not charging us at all. December 1st, it's going up. Right now, we're paying $70 a ton for disposal with just trucking and excavating, and then it's gonna go up to 110 December 1st. So if we can get that approved tonight, I can start tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Just so the residents know what we're talking about here, two or 3 years ago, we applied for grant funding, both from the town as well as the county, for bioswales at Old Town Pond. It took some time to get permits in place, but we were very successful in receiving the grant funding, and the bioswales will help prevent road runoff from getting into Old Town Pond. And finally, after a long period of getting the grant money and getting permits in place, we now have the opportunity to move forward. How does what you would like to do, though, go hand in hand with the plans that we've submitted to the DEC and to Suffolk County?
Permit's all good. We're all good with the DEC. I just got to get the Delalio there and dig it out.
Did we say that we were removing the Phragmites,
No,
or?
that's subbed out. That PO was last month.
Right.
Or a couple, I believe it was last month, for $35,000. I want to keep it under that.
Right.
But we have until December 1st. We have 5 days, not counting Thanksgiving.
Are we? It could make sense to reach out to Dr. Gobler. Removing Phragmites is a great thing because they're an invasive species, but the Phragmites do obviously serve a purpose of stabilizing the shoreline and obviously, preventing further road
Well,
runoff from getting in.
planting
Right.
more plants to stop that from happening. Where this is being dug out is not going to be a problem with pedestrians or nothing.
Is it the southern end?
It's the southern and the northern ends, yes, both ends, actually.
And this is, you can't do the bioswale work without removing the
Exactly.
Phragmites.
Of course, because we're replacing the Phragmites with natural species of plants.
Right.
However, we have to make sure that the sub or our own team who removes the Phragmites does so in a way that's obviously considered on the environment, the shoreline, and make sure we don't damage actually the wetlands. If done in the wrong way, it could cause some damage. So we want to make sure it's done correctly, and it's actually a delicate wetlands area. We had a similar situation by Lake Agawam where we had some Phragmites that were removed. It wasn't done. This was prior to Steve. It wasn't done in the right way and created a little bit of a problem. And so it could be helpful just to get a little more information on how this sub is going to be removing them. I just want to see the plans to make sure they match with exactly what we're supposed to be doing. How are you removing them? What's the plan? Is it with the
With an excavator.
excavator? I mean,
Yeah, you're talking, we estimate about 500 tons of material coming out of there It's a lot,
500 tons?
500 tons.
Wow.
Like I said, right now, we're paying 70 just to excavate and haul it and dump it for free. Once we get to December 1st, it's going up to $110 a ton,
A ton?
a ton.
So,
Well, that's very expensive, yeah.
That's $55,000.
I saw some communications regarding you're gonna need to lower the water level to.
Yes, but that was, at that time, that was, the water is too high, and we don't have the equipment to remove the sand. If we do, we do have the equipment to remove the sand, but it's gonna take us about a week. We get one company in there with an excavator, it'll take 1 day. And that cost was $2,000 that I got.
And so-
I'm not worried about that right now, I'm worried about keeping this price down
Right,
and getting the frag monies out.
so that's part of this, you would first lower the water level.
We can do both at the same time.
Got it.
Well, if we can save $55,000, I think that's a good thing.
Well, you're saving, 20, yeah,
Yeah.
Isn't this covered by grant money, though?
yes.
So, it's-
I don't know how much the grant was, that was before.
right. So there is grant money. The only issue I have, and I'm also happy to speak to you, before or after the meetings, is if it's not done correctly, it could cause more damage than.
No, I understand,
than
I
it's
get
worth.
that, I get that.
And
So
it's
how can
very
we just make
sensitive.
sure that the sub, Delalio, does
Right.
it according to spec and does it properly so that
We have the plans.
we can get it done?
I mean, it's just,
Were the
you're
plans
only moving
appro-
about this much.
Were the plans approved
south
by
end.
the DEC?
Yes.
So if he follows those plans, isn't that sufficient, Jesse?
We usually like to talk to Dr. Gobler, who's the, premier scientist as far as, harmful algae blooms and whatnot. So were you able to catch up with Dr. Gobler at all?
No, I don't have his contact.
Okay.
I don't even know, is he out of,
Stony Brook.
Stony Brook.
Yeah. We before we do anything for Lake Agawam, we always talk to Dr. Gobler. It shouldn't be so different for Old Town Pond.
Well,
the erosion part on the north end, I think if we start there first, we won't be an issue with the erosion, because it's not actually in the pond itself. It's just the phragmites and it's just a damp area, it's just a wet land, basically.
And when do we plan on installing the natural species of plants?
Right after we get the phragmites in.
This winter, or do you think it makes sense to do that obviously in
As
the
soon as we can.
spring?
We gotta find a sub, you have to do it with the grants the way they proposed, legal way of doing it. So, we use whoever we used over at Agawam.
well, since though, Jesse, we have until December 1st in order to be able to do this.
I just don't
At a-
want to have to write another PO and have you guys go, why is it 55 or even more?
I mean,
That's
isn't
why
there a
I'm
way
here.
that we could approve it on the condition that it's done according to, DEC and whatever specs?
Sure, we could approve maybe on condition it's reviewed by
Yeah.
Dr. Gobler and his
That's
team
fine,
at Stony
'cause-
Brook. I'm fine with that. I just want to make sure we get the scientists, environmentalists
Yeah.
to review it. This is a serious project.
Yeah.
And could cause extensive damage if not done correctly. Damage that we might not be able to actually ever replace or overcome.
Okay.
I don't
But
know
I-
if anyone has any other comments. Okay.
No.
Thank you, Steve. So tonight we'll pass a resolution approving the work, but condition on review by
Do
Dr.
you have a
Gobler.
contact for him?
Yeah, I can give you his email, his number. Charlene should probably have that as well.
All right,
So,
I can do that tomorrow.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
coming,
you.
Steve.
Yep.
Next up is our treasurer report. We'll let Charlene Cagle-Betts, who is our village administrator and treasurer, handle this. So thank you, Charlene.
Thank you, Mayor. Revenue results, financial results as of October 31st, which is 5 months into our fiscal year. Our adopted budget for revenue is $33.1 million. To date, we've received just over $31 million. Major revenue drivers that are performing ahead of budget are building permits. We have 1.52 budgeted, 1.52 million budgeted. And to date, we've received 1.18 million, so about 78% of the budget received at the 5-month mark. Cooper's Beach, of course, as we reported last month, outperformed, collected 118% of our revenue. And mortgage tax revenue, we received one quarterly payment from the county for $720,000. We budgeted $975,000. We expect that we'll start seeing some drop off with that, with the interest rates increasing. Expenditures budgeted, you know, as I said, for 33.1 million budgeted. We've expended to date 11.2. We did receive our annual retirement invoice. We were bracing for that to jump up a bit with the current market rates, you know, the stock market investment rates being as volatile as they are. But luckily, they came in under budget, about $60,000. So the next big inhale we have is the New York State Health Insurance. So they will be announcing their 2023 health insurance premium rates sometime in December for January. So we're hoping that's not going to be too much of a hard hit as it was last year. It was 11% increase. Other items that we have on the agenda right now, we're closing up. We have finished all of our punch list for the auditors. PKF O'Connor Davies is expected to, we have a conference call with them tomorrow, just Julie and I, just to wrap up any, we got a little bit of a punch list left. They're going to address audit committee on November 28th with hopefully a draft financial statement by then. We are in the process of RFP IT Services Committee. We have a second meeting scheduled for December 5th. We're hoping to wrap that up and maybe have that awarded by early part of the year. Working on a project as requested by Trustee Manger for consolidation of some of our contracts with outside vendors for maintenance, for fuel oil, et cetera. We actually just found a provider for our fire and burglar alarms who's on the state contract. They came out, gave us a great price, and they're gonna get us code compliant, and they are located in Bohemia. So that's one off the.
How soon can they do that?
Well, we already have a purchase order in place for,
Yeah.
you know, in the hopper for them. So
Okay.
they'll probably be out here in the next week or so, probably next week after Thanksgiving, and start the work. So, because we have had some issues with some of the compliance. And we are working on employee evaluation forms. At our last department head meeting, we decided to update the forms that the village had been using for quite a while that we had to have a printer make up for us. The department heads found it very difficult to navigate and to use, and we simplified the form. And for the employees, we have one for the department heads as well. And so we're hoping to discuss that at the December department head meeting and the process for that.
Thank you very much. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Shirley, I have a few quick questions here. As far as our revenue that we've received to date versus what we've adopted, to what extent do you think we'll be able to achieve the 33.1 million, and to what extent are the property taxes been collected? It looks like with building permits, we might be ahead of budget, but do you foresee us hitting overshooting the adopted budget revenues?
I would imagine we will. We have collected about 97% of the tax levy at this point.
Okay.
We usually are pretty high on our collections rate, and I believe we'll probably exceed our budget on revenues. But expenditures, you know, everything seems to be going up.
Yes.
And the fuel prices, we did budget a bit extra for fuel, but I don't, you know, we probably didn't budget as much as the fuel prices have increased. We have not made any allocation from our contingency fund so far this year, so that's, you know, that's what that's there for us to use in case of an unexpected revenue spike, expenditure spike. But, and like I said, the other big the only thing I'm really concerned about at this point in time is what the health insurance is gonna come in at next month.
We don't have much control over that.
We have no control over that.
So our policy renews on the first,
On the
January
It's
1st,
a calendar year, yes.
calendar year,
And they
okay.
released, you know, we should probably get
It should be out.
the projected rates.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little bit late this year because I have Erin keep checking the website and they're not out yet.
Is the building permit and mortgage tax revenue seasonal? In other words, if my math is right, we're halfway through our fiscal year.
It's not really seasonal. It's kind of bizarre. I actually have an analysis that I could share with the board of the last 3 years of our, not mortgage tax, but our building permit revenue. And it's bizarre. Sometimes like September or October will be a big
We
month.
don't really know. So the fact that we're at 78%, even though the year's only 50% done, doesn't mean we're gonna be at 156%.
I did speak to Tim last week, and he said he doesn't see really anything slowing. He still has a steady stream coming in the door, so.
So we're optimistic, but we're not sure.
Cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic. Mortgage tax is a different story, because
Yeah.
with the rates the way they are,
Yeah.
you know, but I think that, you know, we've almost recovered with one quarter what we had budgeted for the year, so we might have to reproject that next year when we sit down to do the budget, to see how we end up in the last three quarters. And then the next quarter would be able to tell us an indication of where that might go.
Thank you.
I believe that we may have to reconsider the tax stabilization fund that Deputy Mayor, you helped set up last fiscal year. Just given the rise of the New York State health insurance premiums, which I heard could be as high as, you know, $40,000 per family, likely decline in the mortgage tax revenue we'll receive, a potential decline in building and permit revenues. We're going to be in a situation where we haven't seen the likes of this in quite some time, and if we want to maintain the property taxes, we're going to have to tap into the tax stabilization fund that we had the foresight to help create, as well as work together to make some tough decisions as far as how to allocate funds, and so we'll see where it goes. We have our budget season coming up at the top of the next year, and we'll have our public hearing in April. So thank you very much, Charlene, for the good work here. Thank you to the board and to the Budget and Finance Committee. Deputy Mayor, thank you. And we'll keep on moving on. So I hope that provides a good snapshot and insight into our village finances at the moment. We'll now move to suggested resolutions. So Charlene, I'll let you take it from here.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution number 1, resolve the claims for the warrant dated November 21st totaling $2,531,815.35, warrant A17 General Fund, and $7,468.31, warrant H7 Capital Fund, are audited and approved. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 2, the reading of the minutes of the public session for November 10th, 2022 are dispensed. The minutes are accepted as filed by the village clerk, and the actions taken at the meeting are hereby ratified and approved. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 3, the village, resolve the Board of Trustees of the Incorporated Village of Southampton authorize the village clerk to publish a notice of public hearing to be held on Thursday, December 8th at 6 p.m. as a hybrid in-person meeting, Zoom in-person meeting, regarding local law 26, 2022, the proposal to amend Chapter 107 trees. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 4, the Board of Trustees approves the request to waive any fees related to the application of the Board of Architectural Review and Historic Preservation, Zoning Board of Appeals, and Planning Board, and in the building department fees for the Village of Southampton as they relate to 17 Meeting House Lane, Southampton, New York. Rogers Mansion is a registered 501c3 organization, and subject building is owned by the Village of Southampton. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 5, the Board of Trustees approves the payment of $62,000 to the Southampton Arts Center for the village portion of the walkway and grounds improvement to be paid upon submitted receipts from trustee special projects. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Discussion?
Right, just to do a quick
Second?
Quick
There's a second.
Yeah.
second.
Is-
Discussion, yeah.
Is this what Siamic
Yes.
Yes.
presented last, and did we resolve the fact that we were gonna be building out the
Yeah.
Tutto Il Giorno and all that kind of stuff?
So it doesn't involve Giorno, it was Argento that we were
Argento.
concerned about.
Right.
But actually, Robin was right. The portion in the plan that is built out is what has already been done. What the proposal now is doing is only continuing the walkway from the far side of the parking lot towards SAC. So it's just from,
but
you know,
still ready.
it's to, basically on the opposite side where this walkway ends, it would begin again and go to SAC. So it doesn't do anything at Argento. That was already fully built out.
Okay. And this is something, I guess that Siamic pointed out that had already been agreed to at some point?
There was a presentation made about a year and a half ago.
About
At
creating
least,
these
right.
walkways.
Yes,
It's supposed to have a continuous walkway all the way from the History Museum
Right.
to SAC. And you walk, down where Santa Bros is, cross the street, and then come next to Village Hall where Argento is, and then cross the parking lot and go on the walkway all the way to SAC. So it's so that the two can be linked.
which is the way it originally was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, it's a good question. Obviously CMAC came and presented to us, and there are various ways to look at it. But I think at the end of the day, while it's a higher price to pay, I think it could end up having a long-lasting impact on the village. And obviously requested by CMAC and Peter Marino and the Southampton Arts Center. But I do understand concerns that it's a significant portion of the trustee special project budget.
Well, one of the goals of the master plan, which we just updated, is to create a village that's more pedestrian friendly. And I think this would be in keeping with that goal.
Was it,
Absolutely.
the movement of the statues and the artwork, was that addressed over the walkway? When there was all.
No,
was
that's all,
brought up?
that work has all been done. So
Okay.
this current proposal
It's just the
is just to
walkway.
get the walkway
Right.
to the walkway that runs along by the busts
Okay.
of the emperors.
Is the village doing the work, or is it? Or is
No,
it-
we're not.
No.
No.
I believe CMAC got 3 bids,
He did.
and then this is the one that they wanted to go with.
But the Southampton Arts Center, which the village owns, is going to be administering the process. So I believe this is more or less an investment in the Southampton Arts Center. Any other comments or discussion items from the board?
No.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Resolution number 6, resolve the Board of Trustees approves the contract between the Village of Southampton and DB Engineering to conduct a DEIS for the impact of the town's proposed Liberty Gardens housing project in Southampton Village, paid from the Trustees Special Projects Fund. Is there a motion?
Make the motion.
Second?
Second?
Quick discussion. I didn't really have a ample time to review the contract. I do think it's important, obviously, that we do this. The question is are we asking DMV engineers to conduct a DEIS or to review
the
the
DEIS.
town's
Yeah, it's really
DEIS?
to-
It
So
should be reviewed,
to
so we should
review-
change that.
To review the
Conduct a
DEIS that
review
was
of the
done
D-
by the town, yeah. We're
Conduct
not
a
asking them to
review.
do a whole separate one.
so we should probably just reword that.
So we would amend the resolution to read, DB Engineering to conduct a review of DEIS for the impact.
Mhm.
And my question is, I saw some correspondence regarding whether or not the town received our request for extension was timely or not. And I'm concerned that if they hold that it's not timely, that we're gonna be getting DMV to do this study and nobody's gonna look at it, cause our request wouldn't have been timely. Are we in good shape there?
I did discuss with Adriana that the board was meeting tonight, and I know that if we do get approval for the extension, it was kind of like a time-sensitive issue, so they understand that they're not going to start the work until we get that extension, but we wanted to have the resolution in place, and if we needed to, we could rescind the
So if the town
resolution.
says forget about it, DMV will not do the
Well,
review.
they will not move, and then we can rescind the resolution.
Should we add subject to the town granting?
We can add that too if we're going to amend the resolution.
How you doing on the fly here, attorney?
That's okay.
I'm all right with this.
Now, again, we did submit our request for an extension in a timely manner, both to the town planning department, town clerk, and town supervisor. But it is up to the town as to whether or not they would like to allow us for that extension. But we are an interested party, and it could be helpful to have our own engineering firm review this, given the interest from our village residents, particularly as it relates to water quality.
I believe there was additional correspondence between the Suffolk County Water Authority and the town in regard, again, to the wastewater treatment that they were gonna tap into and its proximity to the West Prospect, well field. So as part of what our request would be to see all of that correspondence, so that then the village engineer, D&B, acting on behalf of the village, would be able to analyze that information fully. Hopefully, they will give us our time to do that, and we can then get back to them with our concerns.
And do we have a cost on this project?
They did not give us a cost on it at this point in time. That was to be determined. She was working on that.
Should we say not to exceed a certain amount, maybe $10,000 or something like that?
That's probably good.
Okay.
Not to exceed.
We're adding lots of things to this resolution.
Yes. So it's going to be Andrew's,
Counselor, you getting all this?
It's
got it. I'm with
to
you.
conduct a review.
to
Okay.
conduct a review of the
Review.
DEIS for the impact, subject to the town of Southampton granting a extension for our request and not to exceed $10,000.
May I?
Go for it, thank you. That's,
Resolve, the Board of Trustees approve the contract between the Village of Southampton and DB Engineering to conduct a review of the DEIS submitted related to the impact of the town's proposed Liberty Gardens housing project in Southampton Village, paid from trustee special projects, subject to the town's response to the village's request for an extension of the comment period and at direction of the village administrator, and not to exceed $10,000.
On the revised, I'm not sure what that noise
What
was.
was that? Sage, what was that?
It's okay. Do we have a motion on the revised resolution?
motion to revise.
To revise. Second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
And motion on the resolution as revised.
Okay, thank you. So we can keep on moving
So
to,
we need somebody, so we need a motion to adopt the
Adopt it.
resolution.
I made a motion to amend, that's passed. Motion to
Adopt.
approve.
Yes.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 7, resolve the Board of Trustees approves the contract increase between Southampton Village and DB Engineering for additional work for the Southampton Village Sewer District to be paid from the Water Quality Reserve. Did we want to table this resolution since
I
we're
think
still?
that this looked a little bit high, and
Yeah,
I'm
so we're
hoping we
gonna-
can
we're in the
negotiate
process.
with them, so I
Mhm.
don't want to approve what's currently existing.
Okay, so we're gonna make a motion to table?
Same
Are
page,
you
motion
okay?
to table, yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Bill.
Um,
Second?
Aye, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 8, resolve the Board of Trustees approves the request to install a drywall on the village right-of-way behind the subject property, Bob Guzowitz, a resident of 46 Jobs Lane. The plans were provided Steve Phillips Jr., DPW Superintendent, reviewed and has determined that there is no conflict with this location. The resident must restore the pavement to its original state after installation of the dry well. Is there a motion?
Motion?
Second?
second,
Quick discussion?
yeah, where is this
Yeah.
exactly?
Yeah.
Any other information would be
Is this-
helpful here.
Is this an area that
Didn't see this
constantly
the other day.
floods? Is that why this resident asking for
I
a
believe
dry
so.
well to
I
be
believe that was the request.
built on village property?
Yes.
Where is 46 is across the street, right?
I don't know where Bob Guzowitz lives there.
There's a
Steve-
residence
we
there,
let
that's why
Steve-
I'm a little
We released
confused.
Steve too quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
His resolution.
How did this one come in to us?
I think it came through Steve.
Yeah, Steve should have stuck around to tell us
Mhm.
what the deal was. Actually, Roy, you're a little familiar with Job's Lane. Do you know which one is
Well,
46?
Where's,
46 would be up near Madonia's place,
Yeah.
I would think, somewhere around there.
Where you mean where the where the
Madon-
courtyard
Madonia.
is?
A little further south,
Further.
a little further south, right by
Yeah, 'cause
Seagreens.
there's no residence
Yeah.
there. That's why this is confusing.
It's a little
I
confusing.
didn't see this the other day.
Thank you.
It's a good thing we have people in the
Yes.
audience to
Yes.
help us.
It could make sense, we have our meeting on the 8th. It could make sense to have
Just
Steve come back to us.
Table this?
Yeah,
There's
let's
a lot of-
table this,
yeah.
there's too many questions
A lot of business
here.
owners there that sometimes are sensitive, and we also want to make sure we know about the timeline of this, because we also have the parade of lights coming up, and we probably don't want the
Right.
Job's Lane being torn up around then, and
Mhm.
maybe this is probably a better project to do in the deep off-season
So-
rather than
so-
right during the holiday season when businesses are trying to make their money.
Can we just table it then,
I'll
pending
just
more
table this.
information?
Let's just table
And
it.
I think maybe Steve could give us a report on it.
I'll make a
We'll
motion
ask him tomorrow.
to table then.
I'll
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 9, resolved that the Board of Trustees approves the movement of, it should be promotion, of Matt Salaka, employed as a maintenance mechanic 1, to the new position of maintenance mechanic 2 at a salary of $54,408, effective November 18th, 2022. Is there a motion?
Motion?
Second?
Is there a motion? I'm asking if there's a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Deputy Mayor Resta.
Second?
I'll second.
Just a quick discussion. Have we had a conversation with the CSEA about this?
A conversation with the CSEA?
Yeah, I think it's important. I know Matt, he's a very good, hardworking employee, but I think it's important to let our partner over at the CSEA, that's the union that represents the DPW department, know about this. I know there's a number of members that would also like a promotion that I'd like to give that to as well. But I think that our union should probably have a notice of this so that they can be in the loop. And also, given the fact that we're still implementing the employee review forms, that was a recommendation in our DPW study. I think it's important that we have an evaluation of all the employees rather than do one at a time. But I think most importantly, again, I really like Matt. I was responsible for hiring him in 2019. I just want to make sure the union is consulted prior to making this action.
Can we table this?
That's never been part of the
That's-
protocol in the past. In fact, the union usually requests that we promote more employees, so I've never had an issue with them putting forth a promotion. Usually the process is, it comes from the department head, it goes to civil service. If the employee is qualified and the board approves, the promotion is granted.
You know, it's really good to have a great relationship with the union, which is what we're trying to do here. I know they are one of our valuable partners in our Public Works Department. And then on top of that, there's a number of other really well-qualified members who have been with us for a very long time, such as Mary Ann Wright, for example, who could deserve a promotion, or Brenda Pickney, also building and maintenance employees. So I think that we just want to have a conversation with the union prior to doing this. Now, I'm more than happy if the board wants to move forward. I personally want to make sure that we consult our partners over at the CSEA.
I see no reason. He's earned this promotion, and we posted the openings, as we should, within, at the yard, and people that are already employed here or had their first dibs on, we have a few openings at DPW, and he's earned it. He was recommended for the position, and I'd like to move forward with this.
Isn't this the recommendation that was put forward by Bob Hand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think Bob knows his people, and as Deputy Mayor Aresta said, if it was posted properly,
Mm-hmm.
follows, I don't see any reason to delay, but I understand the mayor's point, but I would think the union would be happy that somebody's getting a raise.
I certainly am, and there's quite a few other people that I'd like to make sure we can promote, including some of the long-standing employees we have here, if there's obviously room in the budget for that. I just think that, given that we haven't spoken to the CSEA about this, it might make sense for me to abstain, but I'm more than happy if the board wants to move forward. I would just simply ask we table this for the next meeting, but if that's not something that members of the board would like to do, then obviously feel free to move forward. I'm happy, obviously, to abstain, and
I don't see the need to consult the CSEA on this. He's earned the promotion, everything was done according to proper procedure, and it's not the custom to ask them if this, a certain person should be promoted. He's earned it, and I would like to move forward with this.
I know the union does like to make sure that in the past, we've kind of promoted people based on a subjective manner versus an objective manner based upon a performance review process and things like that. So I just think that the union is looking for promotions to be in a fair and objective way versus a subjective way where people might feel it's time for a promotion. So again, that was the ask, and
Somebody may feel it's time for promotion, but this gentleman here has earned it, and he's been recommended by Bob Hand, and I wouldn't question Bob, because he doesn't normally would do something like that, and the person didn't earn it and was qualified to have that promotion.
I mean,
totally
it's-
understand, I
it's-
appreciate the point of view.
I mean, if this is a personnel matter, can we discuss this in executive session and then take action, pending discussion in executive session?
Yes, you can take action in or out or after leaving executive session.
All right, well, I would like to do that then, because again, the personnel matters, I think, should be discussed in executive session and not
I agree.
like this.
Okay.
So
So
is
motion to
there a motion to
table?
table?
There's a motion
I'll
to
make the
discuss
motion.
this during
I'll
executive session.
second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 10, the Board of Trustees approves the memorandum of agreement between Suffolk County Community College and Southampton Village Volunteer Ambulance Service, which offers emergency medical technician training, paramedic AAS degree program, and other EMT courses for non-degree seeking students. The term of the agreement shall be for 1 year, effective January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023, renewable for an additional 1-year term upon mutual written consent of both parties. The previous MOA was approved by the Board of Trustees on November 23rd, 2021 for the calendar year 2022. Awaiting contract to be sent to the village administrator and Andrew Preston, village attorney. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I feel like we just voted on this. It's a year already?
know.
I know. Was asking what it was a year ago. Okay.
Resolution number 11, the Board of Trustees approves the Hispanic Apostolate of the South to host their Run with the Torch event on December 12th, 2022, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. The Town of Southampton and Village of Southampton Police Departments will accompany the runners. Police fees will be waived for this event. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 12, resolve the Board of Trustees approves the iTry organization to host their 10th annual bike practices at Cooper's Beach for June 3rd, June 10th, 17th, and 17th of 2023 from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The local nonprofit organization is requesting the police fee be waived for their events. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Quick discussion, just so everyone knows, this is an outstanding event. The iTry organization, we have a village resident who is here, who's helped to be responsible, and there's just a phenomenal organization behind this, and it helps young people. Thank you. It helps young people in this environment. So we're happy to talk more about the organization, but just wanted to thank Natalie and your team for helping put this together, and thank you to this board for helping make this a reality. So thank you for the really good work.
It means a lot to a lot of girls and families, so thank you, thank you, thank you.
Our pleasure.
So
Thank you.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 13, resolve the Board of Trustees approves the 4th annual Juneteenth ceremony to be held at Agawam Park on Saturday, June 17th, through Sunday, June 18th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That concludes the resolution portion.
All right, thank you very much. So,
Excellent.
yes, very good. A nice, very brief meeting tonight, which is unusual.
Andrew
Mayor.
has something.
Does anyone want to entertain a resolution about the proposal from Mr. Phillips on the bioswale?
Yeah, we can go do that, subject to the Dr. Gobler approval. We'll add that as a walk-on resolution. So I'll make a motion to add the resolution.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So Andrew, we'll be waiting for your,
Resolve, the Board of
Remarks.
Trustees approves the request of DPW Superintendent Steve Phillips Jr. to proceed with immediate remediation of phragmites at the Old Town Bioswale and subject to the approval of Dr. Gobler.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so thank you again. We'll now move to comments from board members, so we'll begin in alphabetical order. Trustee Aresta.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a few things. As everyone can see, we're getting ready for Christmas in town, so DPW has been very busy. You could see Santa's up already, so everybody knows Christmas is coming, and the reindeer, and and this Saturday is also the Parade of Lights, which starts at, I didn't get, 4:45, right? Okay. And followed by the lighting of the Christmas tree in Agawam Park. So that's always a great event. So we hope to see a lot of folks out there. And hopefully it won't be 20 degrees and freezing to death, but it's always a great event. Lots of things also, other things happening in DPW. There's with our acting superintendent, Steve Phillips Jr., he's doing a great job. And there's a lot of, some movement going on there and changes, but all good. And so we'll have more to talk about later on in the year and the beginning of the new year as well. So this is Thanksgiving week, and we have lots to be grateful for. We are here in this beautiful village, and I am grateful to all the people that I'm so happy to serve on this board, and I wish everybody the much health and happiness, and try not to eat too much, but enjoy Thursday. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you very much, Trustee Aresta. Trustee Brown.
Good evening, everyone. I am quite excited about the progress that's moving forward environmentally, and I want to thank all those that are involved with doing it as well in DPW. And I want to wish everyone a happy and healthy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Trustee Brown. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, and to everyone here. We'll keep on moving tonight. We'll go to Trustee Manger.
Yeah, well, we're going to keep the meeting short, but again, I wanted to thank all of those members of the public for coming out tonight. Thank you to those who conduct the life-saving training at Cooper's Beach. Thank you very much for doing that and being here tonight to explain how much work goes into that and what you provide to young people as well as now older people. I think that's great. I will add again, since it's the week of Thanksgiving, a happy and healthy Thanksgiving to all, and hope that we will see a lot of you at the tree lighting ceremony on Saturday in Agawam Park, which obviously will be accompanied again with fireworks and music, and should be a great occasion. And so again, hope as many of you turn out for that as well. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Trustee Manger. Trustee Stevenson.
I would just like to let all of those residents who have contacted me and possibly also other members of the board regarding our efforts with pilot programs and in correcting or trying to improve the traffic situation in the village. We hear your comments, at least I do, and I'm sure the rest of the board does. I know some people are happy with the pilot program. Some people think that maybe we should try something different. I listen to everything everybody has to say to me, and from my own personal point of view, I feel that the answer has not yet been found, that we're still searching for better ways to handle a very difficult and intractable problem. We are doing our best as a board to try different things and see how they work out. So thanks to the police department and acting Chief Hertow for the work she's done, and thanks to all the residents for your patience. If you're not happy, or if you are happy with the situation, we are just trying to do something to see if we can figure out a way to make it a little bit better. I don't think we can solve it. We can make it a little bit better. So we're working on that, and thank you again for everybody who's contacted the board with your opinions about it, because we need to listen to everybody to figure out a solution that works for the most number of people. Other than that, happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much. Enjoy the ceremony, and hopefully we'll have a wonderful Black Friday, and the holiday season will get kicking on Friday. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Stevenson. A few other quick updates on my end. First and foremost, again, wanted to wish everybody a happy and healthy Thanksgiving, and to the businesses a very successful Black Friday and holiday shopping season. First, I wanted to thank Trustee Robin Brown for her work with the Southampton Arts Center. There was a resolution earlier with improvements we're making to the grounds with the help of CMAC Sammy and Peter Marino. And when installed, hopefully by this spring or summer, we think will look outstanding. So we're looking forward to making those improvements to one of our very important village-owned properties. The second thing I wanted to quickly mention is wanted to acknowledge and thank Trustee Manger and Frank Fish and BFJ were on a call today regarding implementing our master plan in the workforce housing arena. One of the recommendations that we adopted as a community in our comprehensive master plan was to evaluate our Hampton Road office district as well as our village office district as an opportunity to expand workforce housing, particularly at rates 120% or so AMI. Average median income, which is part of the Long Island Workforce Housing law and program, which means that there could be opportunities for village employees, the teachers, the nurses, retail professionals, et cetera. And we've noticed that we have a oversupply or a surplus of office properties in those districts, and those can be converted to multifamily homes at 6 units per acre according to our code. So that could provide opportunities, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom opportunities for people to live in the village, who work in the village, and would not exclude anybody who would be in those important careers that might make more than certain amounts, but not enough to really afford to live in the village. So I think when we implement this program, potentially by special exception, this could be a particularly good use, and it would be a step in the right direction towards addressing the workforce housing shortage we have in the village. In fact, there's already currently homes that are pre-existing, non-conforming in the Hampton Roads office district that are multifamily. Unit on Meeting House Lane, for example, that's likely in that camp, and this is just, I think, a great opportunity to use that office district. We also brought up that we used to have 2-family or 3-family homes in the village or more. Many of those homes have been converted to single-family homes, so the limited supply of more workforce housing that we have has been lost, particularly over the last 2 or 3 years after the pandemic. So this is one of the ways that we devised and was adopted in our comprehensive master plan to look into improving workforce housing and address our loss of our multifamily zoning in a way that's not overly dense as well. I also wanted to quickly mention that an idea about traffic abatement that's outside of Somerset and Bishops, et cetera, is something that we'll be reaching out to Fred Thiel about. He helps with the MTA and the Long Island Railroad, but we're going to continue to encourage the Long Island Railroad to offer more train rides, especially this summer, and potentially we can have a system where people can have a shuttle from the train station to our downtown, so we encourage them to use the Long Island Railroad and public transportation versus sitting in traffic. So we'll be reaching out to our Assemblyperson Fred Thiel to discuss that. We've already have discussed that in the past, but we're going to bring that up again. And then, in addition, at our prior board meeting, we talked about having a committee or task force to help us out with more fun and recreational activities. And I'd like for the board, I think we're all really in support of trying to bring some more life into the village, and I'd like for us to kind of think about how we can address that. I also would like to meet with the Chamber of Commerce. The village does provide that building for a very small amount, and I'd like to meet with the Chamber. They've been a good partner to us, but I'd like to meet with the Chamber to discuss adding maybe a trustee liaison to their board, or potentially having members of this Fun and Recreation Committee also be part of their board, because I think the Chamber is an extremely important element to our village downtown, and we want to make sure that the Chamber has the resources that it needs and that we're closely coordinating with the Chamber of Commerce. Many villages have very successful chambers, and we want to make sure that the Chamber, who works as hard as they possibly can, has the resources they need to succeed. And then also just want to thank our Deputy Mayor and Trustee Stevenson, who obviously a liaison to the Public Works Department and liaison to the Fire Department as well, for their hard work, especially in the preparation of getting ready for the holiday season and the upcoming fire district contract that we're working on as well. So just wanted to thank our board for all their good work. And with that said, I'll make a motion to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of discussing contractual, legal, and personnel matters. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good evening. It is now 8:33 p.m., Monday, November 21st. I'd like to make a motion to return to public session. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a number of resolutions. By the way, let the record note that no action was taken in executive session. Andrew, I'll let you read off the resolutions for our vote.
Thank you, Mayor. Earlier this evening, suggested resolution number 9 was tabled and is now being recalled. Resolved, the Board of Trustees approved the promotion of Matthew Salaka, employed as a Maintenance Mechanic 1 to the new position of Maintenance Mechanic 2 at a salary of $54,408.08 effective November 18, 2022. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing none.
I'm an abstention.
One abstention, nevertheless, the motion carries. A resolution resolved, the Board of Trustees authorizes the village attorney and village assessor to enter into a stipulation to settle an Article 7 tax lien litigation between the village and 7 Squabble Lane LLC in the amount of $52,700 related to tax years 2019-20 through 2022-23, as identified in a proposed stipulation negotiated between the village assessor and counsel for 7 Squabble Lane LLC. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Resolved, the Board of Trustees authorizes the village assessor, subject to the approval of the village administrator and village attorney, to enter into an agreement with a real property assessor in an amount not to exceed $15,000. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Resolved, the Board of Trustees authorizes the village attorney to enter into a contract with Roaring Thunder Media related to advertising at the village heliport, subject to review and approval by the village administrator in a monthly amount not to exceed $5,000 for the month of December, with an option to renew for January and February of 2022.
Well, it could exceed 5,000.
Right.
Not to be less than
Not
5.
to be less than 5,000.
5,000.
You okay with that?
Shall I restate the motion?
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees authorizes that the village attorney enter into a contract with Roaring Thunder Media related to advertising at the village heliport, subject to review and approval by the village administrator in a monthly amount not less than $5,000 for the month of December, with option to renew for January and February 2023.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have nothing further.
So those conclude the additional resolutions. At 8:36 p.m., I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much and have a good night.
Good night, everyone.